Hi, my name is Luma, and I was a student during the early days of Crestmont. And I had the great privilege of getting together with one of the founders of Crestmont, as well as several of the early teachers of the school. And we got to chat about the early days of Crestmont and how it all started.
I started in Crestmont in 1971. The school had already been going on. It had been started by parent co-op down in Crescent Park. I helped start the Magic Bus program in 1973, is that what we said? And then I stayed a couple of years after that until 76, I guess it was.
I'm Melody Irma Child Chavis, and I came to Crestmont really because I was, first of all, I was a mom, and I was part of the, back in the day we called it the free school movement. And this was a movement of people starting their own schools all around the country. Sort of grew out of the anti-war movement and the movement for black liberation and the movement for women's liberation. And we were very, very enthusiastic and idealistic, and we thought our job is to make new men and new women, like a whole new kind of human being for the world.
At Crestmont, there was a unique curriculum that was created by individual teachers coming together with passion and bringing their past experiences and love of life and children. And it was a special place to learn.
My predecessor, Doreen, was trained at this elite school in England. I had worked with her in a school in Oakland, and she gave me a lot of her materials. They're all handmade things that you'd pull off the shelf and put out, and then the kids had to use them like Montessori, and then put them away. And I learned so much from her.
I was in a really progressive teacher training program in the mid-70s at UC San Diego. The teacher education program was all about creating the kind of learning that was done at Crestmont. And really sort of that we learned about the British infant schools, we learned about really creative ways to teach things. And that was the goal, is to just have a really alive education.
Crestmont teachers have that feeling, that we have this joy and excitement about kids and an interest in kids, and even kids that are struggling behaviorally or with learning disabilities. We're interested, and we're interested in many ways. And that luxury, extreme luxury of time, which you don't have in public school.
And small group.
Yeah.
Small group, and that's it.
I think it helped to have the parents there too, because you know more about the kids when you know. And the parents were really interesting, and the children saw that their parents really supported what was happening at school. What was happening at school was important to those parents. It is for every parent, but I mean ours, we got to see that every week when their parents brought them, and when they came to conferences, when they helped in the classroom. That's a good thing for a kid to see how important their education is to their parent.
Learning at Crestmont happened in a free-form environment with lots of creativity. But within that free-form environment, students were encouraged to find and create their own structure for learning.
It was just wonderful the way in which, the classroom would flow. I mean, and the kids would flow around.
And we had the kids fill out a schedule. I want to go to the art room
That was something I
first.
developed,
I want to go to
try
the
to organize
bathroom
them.
after that, and the next period.
Within these parameters, they could choose then, okay, Tuesday morning I'm going to be in the art room, and then I'll go to reading by myself. Our idea of the little new human being was that they would have agency. They could go and navigate the world and have
A plan.
plans and have decisions on their own, not just be little automatons, and also that they would be creative, that they would have confidence, and have critical thinking.
And scheduling allowed kids to start understanding time and future and planning, and that they weren't just sort of floated through life with the grown-up taking them there.
Weekly field trips were central to the Crestmont ideology and concept. It was amazing. Every week we would go to a new location and interact with our environment, write stories about it, do math about it. It was a way that we interacted with our world that created learning experiences that will never be forgotten.
Every week we had one or more field trips. That created a real tight, strong feeling with those kids. We shared so many experiences in the bigger world, and with lots of interaction with rangers and museum docents and, just people we met on the street, and just a wonderful breadth of experience.
The Magic Bus was a school on wheels, a unique experience that we'll never forget.
Lots of room for all of us. We're all silly on the Magic Bus,
And
we
it
ain't got no back seat.
backseat.
Our school is the traveling kind, goes all around the bay. Never know when you get on board where you'll end up today. Do you remember any other verses? No.
And one of the parents had this 1955 Chevy school bus that had been converted as a camper inside, with beds and a table in the front, and the kids really liked it, and I really liked it. And so I worked with the dad and he, decided that he wanted to sell it to us or sell it to me. I don't know how he bought it exactly, but Melody and I decided to do this classroom because it seemed like it would be a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun. We would go to a site, like visit a factory. I remember particularly the Leslie salt factory that we visited down on the South Bay. And, the kids would take a tour, and there'd be somebody there that would engage them on the tour. And then we'd go back into the bus, and there'd be like a writing assignment, write something about what happened today, or what do you think about what Mr. Jones said?
Field trips took us out into the world. Activism and protest taught us how to change it.
And we were activists, some of us more so than others. However, I think for all of us, it was more, it was not just go out there and do this. It was we wanted them to connect, and feel the power that this was something that they understood and that they then were invested in and wanted them to be a part of.
That was something that we did a lot of. It's okay, we have this knowledge, how can we take it out to the bigger world so more people might be interested enough to change the way they live, or go to the political process. There were at that time fast food places like Burger King, not the only one, who used a lot of beef from cut down rainforests, now grazing land, import that beef to the US to fast food joints. And so we wanted Burger King to not do that, so we could write letters to them. Okay, so we did that. All right, now what else you guys are saying? And you came up with, we could boycott them, we could have a picket line. We can alert the press. And it was like, okay. So we sent out press releases to the 3 major newspapers in the area. And then we decided that we wanted it to be fun, we wanted it to be positive and educational. So we made these tree costumes. So when we get there, Burger King has already been alerted from their national headquarters that Earth First terrorists are on their way. And I was like, no. We're like school kids. We're gonna do the rainforest dance here for you.
Crestmont has always empowered children to be free thinkers engaged with their environment. As a current parent and past alumni, I believe these values to be as important and alive today as they were in the beginning.
I think being active on this level is going to be so important in the next 50 years. It's such a critical 50 years. That path of keeping optimistic and hopeful, if not optimistic, hopeful and something to do, and, you know, just wish everyone to continue.
Yes.
I think it's such a wonderful community, and I think that what people are going to need more than ever before will be community. In Crestmont, people already know how to take good care of each other. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
As Melody was saying, I think community, that small communities working with each other is going to just be our future of holding things together and being healthy and whole.
And active, huh?
Active, yeah, and I think that's going to be true for everybody. Everybody is going to have to realize that they're going to have to take an active part in some way of making things better if we don't all do it. Because people are feeling so disenfranchised politically, like their voice doesn't matter at all. And it's just going to have to start with the person herself or himself getting out there and doing something, and then you get your connection, and then it'll work.
Yeah.